Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about something most of us have experienced, the overwhelming feeling of moving house and the sea of belongings that comes with it. We often think of moving as just a physical task, but it is actually a major neurological and hormonal event. When we move, our brain is forced to process a massive amount of new information while simultaneously managing the stress of our physical possessions. This creates a specific chemical environment in our bodies that explains why we feel so exhausted and emotional. The primary player in this process is cortisol, which is our main stress hormone. When we are surrounded by piles of boxes and clutter that has no home, our visual cortex sends a constant distress signal to the brain. To your brain, physical clutter represents a long list of unfinished tasks. This keeps your cortisol levels elevated for days or even weeks. High cortisol makes it difficult to sleep, interferes with your digestion, and makes you feel constantly on edge. But moving involves more than just stress. It also impacts our levels of oxytocin, which is often called the bonding hormone. We develop emotional attachments to our homes and even our objects because they provide a sense of safety and identity. Moving house breaks that environmental bond. Until you establish new routines and find a place for your things, your oxytocin level may drop, leading to feelings of sadness, nostalgia, or even a sense of mourning for your old life. We also have to consider the role of adrenaline and noradrenaline. During the moving process, these hormones keep us in a state of high alert. This is helpful when you need the energy to carry heavy furniture, but once the move is done, the sudden drop in these hormones often leads to what people call a crash. This hormonal withdrawal is why you might feel physically sick or extremely tearful a few days after the move is technically over. Finally, we have the struggle with dopamine. Our brains love order and predictability because it makes survival easier. When we find a perfect place for an object, we get a small hit of dopamine, which feels like a reward. However, when we have too much stuff and cannot find a place for anything, we experience a dopamine deficit. This leads to decision fatigue, where your brain eventually shuts down because it can no longer process the choices required to organize the clutter. In summary, the exhaustion you feel during a move is not just in your muscles, it is a complex hormonal reaction. You are dealing with high cortisol from the mess, low oxytocin from the loss of your familiar space, and a brain that is starving for the dopamine reward of order. Understanding this chemistry can help us be more patient with ourselves. It is not just about the boxes, it is about giving your nervous system time to recalibrate to a new environment. Thank you for listening.
The cardboard towers line the hallway floor. Each box a year I don't need anymore. I'm 57, starting a life anew. In a sunlit kitchen shared with a ghost in you. But my pulse is racing, a rhythmic, nervous beat. As the cortisol rises with every cluttered street. My hands are shaking, though my heart is full of grace. It's hard to find a rhythm in a brand new place. searching for the dopamine in the settling of the dust, replacing all the used to be's with a quiet sense of trust. One box at a time, one memory put away. We're rewriting the blueprint of my DNA.